This is the shocking reality the new supply will face. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here. Today, we're diving into a topic that's crucial for understanding the dynamics of narcissistic relationships. What the new supply experiences. It's a fascinating and often overlooked aspect of narcissistic behavior. Before we get started, if you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps us grow our community and reach more people who might benefit from this information. So, let's talk about the new supply. There are typically three types of individuals who may become the new supply for a narcissist, and I'll break them down for you. First, there's the person who is similar to who you were before encountering narcissism. A person who may not be familiar with narcissistic abuse or the toxic cycle. They're entering into this dynamic without prior knowledge or experience. Secondly, there's the recycled supply. A person who hasn't fully healed from a previous narcissistic relationship. They may still be caught in the trauma bond or struggling to break free from the narcissist's influence. And thirdly, there's the possibility of another narcissist or a toxic individual. Sometimes, narcissists may seek out someone who mirrors their own traits or someone who may even outdo them in toxic behaviors. Understanding who the new supply could be sheds light on the complexities of narcissistic relationships and the patterns that often repeat. Stay tuned as we explore each type in detail and discuss the implications for those involved. Now let's dive into the first type of person who could potentially become the new supply for the narcissist. Someone who is unfamiliar with narcissism and its dynamics. That was me, and maybe it was you too. To the narcissist, we were like a blank canvas, a fresh lump of clay waiting to be shaped. We were an empty canvas on an easel, untouched by paint. That's how the narcissist viewed us, as an opportunity to mold us into exactly what they wanted. They also saw what we could bring into the relationship. Perhaps we had a lot of empathy, maybe we were eager to please others, maybe we struggled to say no. Boundaries might not have been our strong suit, especially if we were vulnerable from a recent breakup, relocation, or starting a new business venture with someone who turned out to be a narcissist. Perhaps we simply fell head over heels in love and believed in their facade. For one or more of these reasons, we entered into the relationship. We weren't taught about narcissism in school, so we didn't realize that there are people out there who don't have our best interests at heart. Now we're learning, awakening, becoming more aware, educated, and empowered. But for the new supply, if this is who they are to the narcissist will mold them too. They'll make them fall in love or enter into a relationship. They'll pretend to share common interests with them, blend into their world, and the new supply won't see the need for boundaries because they don't yet know what they're dealing with. To the new supply, it might seem like they've hit the jackpot. In reality, they've found fool's gold. They're entering a relationship that will turn out to be shallow and deceptive. After the narcissist has ensnared them, and the initial love bombing or euphoric stage is over, they'll start to withdraw. This is confusing and unfamiliar to the new supply because the narcissist is a skilled manipulator. They know exactly when to ramp up the mistreatment and when to ease off. During the initial phase of showering you with affection and euphoria, they know how to make you fall head over heels or commit to a relationship. If you're vulnerable and unaware of narcissism, it sets the stage for disaster. It completely flips your world upside down. It happened to you, it happened to me, and it's now happening to the new supply. Most likely, the new supply doesn't know anything about narcissism either. Here's what they'll soon realize. They've lost touch with who they are, their identity starts to fade, and they're becoming a hollow version of themselves. They feel compelled to be in constant communication with the narcissist, as they've been conditioned to do so. They're glued to their phone, sending messages without receiving replies. This is after the initial love bombing phase, when they enter the devaluation stage. They start catering to the narcissist's needs, possibly providing housing, cooking, cleaning, driving, paying bills, and maintaining a certain lifestyle. Being in this narcissistic fog, where you are devalued daily once the narcissist feels they've secured you, is incredibly tough. You might have believed you found the perfect relationship. But the truth is, you've fallen for or entered a relationship with your worst enemy. They envy and resent you, and their aim is to bring you down. Before attempting to do so, they aim to strip away everything from you: your time, money, energy, love, empathy, social standing, friends, health, anything they can get their hands on. This is what's unfolding with the new supply. It's why they've gone from being stable and healthy to being caught in a whirlwind romance. They might have relocated across the country, town, or even the world, because the narcissist wants to isolate them from anyone and anything that could offer support: family, friends, community, or colleagues. This is why narcissists behave as they do. It's a predictable cycle. For someone who's the new supply and isn't aware of narcissism, isn't toxic themselves, and isn't someone the narcissist has been with before, they're in for a rough time. I know this because I've been in that position. In these relationships, everything around the new supply starts to crumble. Their world falls apart. Their health declines, their finances suffer, and their sense of who they are gets completely twisted. Like I mentioned earlier, they become a shadow of their former selves. Their identity is stripped away by the narcissist. No matter what the new supply says or does, it's never enough for the narcissist. Eventually, the narcissist looks at them and thinks, wow, it only took me 2 months to get this person under my control. It took 6 months with the last one. I must be improving my skills at manipulating people and making them fall for me or get into relationships with me. Once the narcissist realizes they have you in their grasp, it's a dangerous place to be because you're falling for their facade. You believe they have your best interests at heart, that they love and care for you, and that they'll follow through on their promises. But none of that is true. The narcissist only cares about themselves. So that's one type of new supply. It's one scenario for the new supply, and let me tell you, that person is in for a tough journey when they eventually get discarded. And that's probably how it will end, though it doesn't have to. Maybe they'll figure things out and end it themselves. Or perhaps they'll stay trapped in the narcissistic fog, believing there's nothing better out there. If they're so deep in that zombie-like trance, they might just submit to the narcissist and stay stuck in that relationship. But most likely, they'll end up discarded. If that happens to you, my heart goes out to you. The thing is, when they hit that point, they're really going to have to dig deep inside themselves. Just like you, and I had to. They'll need to be persistent, tough, brave, and have a lot of strength and determination. Once that relationship ends for them, they're going to have to come to terms with what it really was. If they're not as lucky as you were to spot the narcissism early on, they're in for a tough road ahead. First and foremost, I hope they never got into that relationship in the first place. But if they did, I hope they'd figure it out quickly. It took me about 3 weeks to see the truth. Once I did, I went all in and dedicated every moment to understanding and accepting what the narcissistic relationship was about. That's what they'll have to do too. It might seem overwhelming, like a huge task, but I managed it. If I could do it, so can they. And if you've already done it, you know exactly what I mean. So let's talk about another type of potential new supply, the recycled person. This could be anyone from your family, a colleague, a past romantic partner, a friend, or even someone you were close to like a sibling, parent, or uncle. These are people who have been in the narcissist's web before, but haven't cut ties completely. Maybe they didn't realize they were dealing with a narcissist, or maybe they did but couldn't break away. The narcissist tends to circle back to these recycled individuals, playing the victim card or making promises like, "I've changed," or "Give me another chance, things will be different this time." These people, recycled by the narcissist, come in various forms: family members, friends, exes, who often get caught up again in the cycle. They believe in the facade the narcissist presents, believing they can change, hoping it will be better this time. These individuals often fall for hoovers, where the narcissist tries to pull them back into the relationship, testing if they're still vulnerable or responsive. Pro tip: never fall for a hoover. It's a trap to keep you ensnared in their cycle of abuse. Despite knowing about the narcissistic abuse cycle, these recycled people sometimes think they're strong enough to handle it again. But let's be clear, it never works out well for them. Narcissists don't change, they only care about themselves. Giving them another chance, believing they'll change or thinking you can manage their behavior never ends well. You haven't yet learned the lesson and applied the tools needed to protect yourself from their manipulations. You might think you can outsmart or endure the narcissist's behavior for a while, but every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date. Eventually, they will break you down. My hope is that those who have been recycled by the narcissist will eventually wise up, go no contact, block them, and remove all connections. If not now, then when? I understand it's not easy to go no contact immediately. In such cases, employing the grey rock method, becoming uninteresting and flying under their radar, can help protect yourself. Each of our situations is unique, shaped by our age, gender, language, location, and life experiences. Your uniqueness is like a fingerprint that defines you. The narcissist, on the other hand, constantly changes masks, erasing their fingerprint so they can continue manipulating others. All right, let's refocus here. What I'm talking about is this cycle, folks. These individuals, they're still buying into the act. They either didn't get the chance or didn't want to use the strategies, like going completely off the grid. But sooner or later, they'll catch on. They'll realize, hey, my finances are taking a hit again. My health's taking a nosedive. I'm bombarded with calls and texts all day long, morning, noon, and night, and I can't catch a break. When any of these things, or all of them, start happening, that's your cue to cut ties and hit that block button. So, let's talk about the third type of person who might become the new supply for a narcissist. This person isn't someone the narcissist would normally want to meet. They're likely to be just as toxic, if not worse. I'm not going to get into clinical terms here. I've been through it myself, so I know what it's like to be stuck in a situation you didn't even realize you were in. Now, this third group of potential new supplies is dangerous for the narcissist because these individuals can outmaneuver them at their own game. They're experts at manipulation, deceit, and causing harm. They know how to push anyone's buttons, even another narcissist's. These people are highly toxic and should be avoided at all costs. Think of them like another version of the narcissist. Run for the hills if you ever encounter someone like this. What happens with narcissists after they discard someone like you is they move on to a new supply, someone they haven't been with before. It won't be someone they've recycled from the past. This new person could fall into the first group or this third group we're talking about. The narcissist takes a chance, thinking the grass is greener on the other side. A common saying, but often not true. When the narcissist discards people and finds a new source of supply, they often end up with someone equally toxic. The new supply gets mistreated, manipulated, taken advantage of, and ends up losing a lot. Money, emotional well-being, you name it. And remember, narcissists aren't perfect. They make mistakes too. Sometimes we see narcissists on social media painting a picture of a perfect life, filled with vacations, selfies, and all the trimmings. They might post photos from places they've never been or use filters to look better than they do in reality. Meanwhile, the new supply stands there, wondering what's going on, feeling confused and used. In these relationships, the new supply often ends up paying for everything, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and financially. The narcissist might start off taking selfies with them during the love bombing stage. But once the relationship settles in, the new supply fades into the background. If the narcissist marries the new supply, check their photos. Often, you won't see the wedding ring prominently displayed, or they might position themselves separately in pictures, leaving the new spouse feeling invalidated and uncertain. This cycle just keeps going around and around. But here's the thing about narcissists. They always want to seem single, no matter who they're with. That's why they avoid holding your hand sitting next to you on the couch or being intimate with you. They'll turn anything into a weapon. They start disappearing slowly, even if you're living together or married. They'll claim they're working late or have some friend in town you've never heard of. They'll make your hobbies vanish, invalidate everything about you, and punish you just for being yourself. And they're doing the same to the new supply, whoever that may be. Remember, that new supply was once you. Before you, there was someone else the narcissist discarded or who left them. Then they found you, and you thought you had the best relationship ever. Turns out, neither did nor will the new supply. The narcissist goes from one relationship to the next to hurt you, leaving you wondering what the new person has that you don't. But here's the truth. They have nothing you don't. When they discarded you or you ended things, they lost the best thing they ever had. You. Don't pine for them. Don't stay stuck. Work on your childhood wounds. See a therapist. Write. Meditate. Whatever helps you heal. The further you get from that toxic relationship, the stronger you will become. And the stronger you get, the weaker the narcissist becomes. They won't ride off into the sunset with the new supply. Instead, they'll disappear into the darkness, only briefly reflecting on what they've done before moving on to ruin someone else's life. That's their nature. They're cowards, bullies, shallow mimickers who lack any substance. If you've ever tried to have a real conversation with a narcissist, you know it's impossible. They just echo back other people's ideas. Back when you were in the love bomb phase, you couldn't see through their facade. Now you can't unsee their true colors. That's why you need to go no contact. Block them, delete them, cut off anyone associated with them. If not now, when? It's time to move forward and leave the narcissist behind for good. So let's break down who the new supply could be once again. First, there's the person who's like you, unaware of narcissism, about to embark on a dark journey of manipulation, confusion, and chaos. It's a path that leads nowhere good. Secondly, there's a recycled person who believes in giving the narcissist one more shot, thinking things will magically improve this time around. But history tells a different story. It never gets better. Eventually, they'll have to wake up to that reality themselves. Then there's the third type, the toxic person who's on par with or worse than the narcissist. Narcissist hooks up with someone like this, they might just meet their match. Good luck to them, because they thought they could keep abusing others indefinitely. Every one of us reveals ourselves over time, and sometimes we meet someone who's more manipulative than we are. For the narcissist, this is when they get a taste of their own medicine. They hate admitting they've been played because they're too shallow and hollow to face their own flaws. They avoid introspection and accountability, believing they can do no wrong. But the truth is, they're just cowards and bullies who thrive on hurting others. So everyone, that wraps up today's video. I hope you found it insightful and valuable. Whether it's afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are on this planet, remember you are not alone in your journey. If you resonated with what we discussed, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. Your support helps us reach more people who may benefit from this content. And don't forget to check out the free book and one-on-one consultation available in the description below. They're valuable resources to aid you on your healing journey. Remember, healing is a process. If you're on that path, keep going and share your experiences in the comments. And if you ever feel like the grass is greener with a new supply, remember, it's often an illusion. They too will face challenges. You've already taken a significant step by understanding narcissistic dynamics. Stay strong, break free, and start living your best life. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.